Last Christmas, I gave you my heart. The very next day, you gave it away. This Christmas, we have looked at Mariah Carey's immortal Christmas anthem, All I Want for Christmas Is You. And classic films like Home Alone and Love Actually. Then the book written in 1843 by Charles Dickens that completely rewired Christmas around the world forever. A Christmas Carol. We must also look at the omnipresent and omnipotent Christmas song, Last Christmases by George Michael. Thanks for watching Top Quotes by Top Guys, and I'm Quote Guy. I'm going to tell you things you don't know about the writer of the everlasting Christmas hit, Last Christmases, George Michael. George Michael's connection to Christmas is profound, largely through his iconic song Last Christmases with Wham, and deepened by the tragic timing of his death. Last Christmases, 1984, was written, produced, and performed by George Michael, with bandmate Andrew Ridgeley. Last Christmases was released as a double A-side with Everything She Wants in December 1984. It peaked at No. 2 in the UK, held off the top spot by Band Aid's Do They Know It's Christmas, on which Michael also sang. Phil donated all royalties from Last Christmases to the Ethiopian famine relief effort. This marks the official beginning of Michael's endless magnanimous giving to charity and people in need for his lifetime. Apart from his songs, his low-profile giving made Christmas truly special as he gives love and warmth to hopeful and needy ones unconditionally.
Despite never initially reaching number 1, Last Christmas became one of the UK's biggest-selling singles ever, and a perennial holiday staple, finally hitting number 1 in 2021 and again in later years, amid renewed streaming and tributes. The song has been covered countless times, inspired the 2019 rom-com film Last Christmas, featuring Michael's music heavily, and marks its 40th anniversary in 2024 with special releases and documentaries. Globally, Last Christmas is one of the most ubiquitous holiday songs, becoming a staple of Christmas playlists, radio rotations, retail background music, and public festivities every December. Its worldwide playback is driven by a combination of nostalgia, streaming dominance, traditional airplay, and cultural integration into the holiday season.
Streaming dominance. The song experiences massive surges on platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube each holiday season. It has amassed over 2 billion streams on Spotify alone, making it the second most streamed Christmas song ever, behind Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. During peak weeks in December, it garners tens of millions of global streams, day around 95 million in one tracked week, propelling it to the top of charts, like the Billboard Global 200, where it hit No. 1 for the first time in recent seasons. Radio and public airplay. It is a perennial favorite on holiday radio stations worldwide, often ranking among the top-played Christmas tracks. In many countries, it's inescapable in shopping malls, supermarkets, cafes, and public spaces from mid-November onward. Games like Womageddon, where participants try to avoid hearing it until Christmas Eve, highlight how omnipresent it is, especially in Europe and English-speaking nations. Chart performance and regional popularity. Global reach. Regularly tops or nears the top of holiday charts in over 200 territories tracked by Billboard, reflecting plays across streaming, radio, and sales. Europe? Extremely dominant, having reached No. 1 in at least 16 countries historically, including recent peaks in Austria, Germany, Netherlands, Poland, Sweden. It's often the go-to Christmas anthem in the UK and much of continental Europe. UK. A cultural institution, frequently the Christmas No. 1 or top contender, with record-breaking streams, for example, over 12 million in a single Christmas week. US and beyond. Strong on Billboard Hot 100 peaking in top 5 recently, and global EXCL. US charts. Popular in Canada, Australia, Japan, significant sales, and increasingly worldwide via streaming. Its bittersweet lyrics, catchy synth-pop melody, and association with 1980s nostalgia ensure it resonates across generations, making it a fixture in curated holiday playlists on streaming services, and traditional media alike. Every Christmas, it effectively plays everywhere for millions, blending joy and melancholy into the seasonal soundtrack. Apart from being played globally around the world every Christmas, Last Christmases is also sang across generations, and it has absolutely become a song that even little kids know and sing every holiday season. It's crossed generations completely. Its catchy melody and simple, repetitive lyrics make it easy for children to pick up quickly, whether from hearing it blasted in shops, on radio playlists, in family cars, or through streaming at home. Over the years, it's appeared on countless best Christmas songs for kids lists alongside classics like Jingle Bells, and there are popular kid-friendly covers, such as one by The Wiggles, a beloved children's group, that make it even more accessible to young audiences. Schools and families often include it in holiday activities. It's recommended for classroom parties, sing-alongs, and even teaching resources focused on the song for end-of-year festive lessons. Kids perform covers or parodies, and it's not uncommon in holiday concerts or informal caroling. Perfect example from this very Christmas season, 2025. A group of 5 Scottish primary school boys, aged 10-11, went viral after a Ring doorbell camera captured them enthusiastically singing Last Christmas at a stranger's door to spread Christmas spirit. The video racked up millions of views, with the boys nailing the lyrics, including that iconic special, and ending with a cheerful "Bye, love you." It became a heartwarming sensation, often called Scotland's Christmas advert, showing how naturally kids embrace and perform the song today. The song's omnipresence, even inspiring the game Wommageddon, where people try, and usually fail, to avoid hearing it, means young children grow up with it as a core part of the holiday soundtrack, just like older generations did. It's proof that George Michael's 1984 hit remains timeless and joyful for all ages. Tragically, George Michael passed away peacefully at his home in Goring-on-Thames, England, on Christmas Day, December 25th, 2016, at age 53, from natural causes: dilated cardiomyopathy with myocarditis and fatty liver. This coincidence added a poignant layer to his legacy, especially with Last Christmas's surging in streams and charts in the years following. Michael's music continues to define the holiday soundtrack for millions, blending joy, melancholy, and enduring. Looking at the song's everlasting impact across generations and around the world, let's look at George Michael's life. Early life and family background: George Michael was born Georgios Kyriakos Panayiotou on June 25th, 1963, in East Finchley, North London. He was the youngest of 3 children and the only son in a working-class immigrant family. Parents: father, Kyriakos Jack Panayiotou, also known as Jack Panos, a Greek Cypriot restaurateur who emigrated from Cyprus to England in the 1950s. He was a hardworking, traditional figure who changed his name upon arriving in the UK and built a successful business. George later described him as authoritarian, influenced by the immigrant drive to succeed, and noted a somewhat distant relationship. His father initially dismissed his musical ambitions, reportedly telling him he couldn't sing. Mother: Leslie Ann Gold Panayiotou, née Harrison, 1937, 1937, 1997. An English dancer with some Jewish heritage, her mother was Jewish. The family hid this due to WW2T fears. She was described as loving and supportive, though George had a deep but complicated bond with her. He credited his stable upbringing for allowing creative freedom, but also spoke of limited affection growing up, as both parents were focused on providing for the family. Siblings: 2 older sisters, Yoda, born 1958, and Melanie, 1960. 2019. Childhood: George spent most of his early years in Kingsbury, northwest London, where his parents bought a home shortly after his birth. He attended Roe Green Junior School and Kingsbury High School. Described as a shy, overweight child who wore large glasses and felt insecure, he was often called Yog by family and friends. His passion for music emerged early. At around age 8, he discovered an old gramophone in the garage, wrote his first song, and following a head injury at age 8, decided music would be his career, though he kept this secret initially. In his early teens, the family moved to Radlett, Hertfordshire, where he attended Bushymead School and met future Wham! Bandmate Andrew Ridgeley. Despite some emotional distance at home, I was never praised, never held. George later reflected positively on his stable upbringing, saying it gave him room to be creative without major distractions. His multicultural roots, Greek Cypriot father and English mother, shaped his identity and fueled his outsider perspective, which influenced his artistry. Before anything, we must always look at the WHI. So why and how did George Michael write the song? How it was created. George Michael wrote the song suddenly in 1984 while visiting his parents' home with Andrew Ridgeley. They were watching TV downstairs when inspiration hit. Michael rushed upstairs to his childhood bedroom, where he had a small keyboard and 4-track recorder, and composed the melody and structure in about an hour. He excitedly played it for Ridgeley, declaring it would be their Christmas No. 1 hit. Recording took place in August 1984 in London, with Michael decorating the studio in Christmas gear to capture the mood despite the summer heat. He handled production and played all instruments himself. The iconic music video, filmed in Saas-Fee, Switzerland, features Michael, Ridgeley, backing singers Pepsi and Shirley, and friends in a ski resort setting, telling a story of heartbreak and regifting, symbolized by a brooch. Why he wrote and sang it. Michael intentionally crafted Last Christmases as a Christmas song, aiming for a festive no. 1 to cap Wham! Successful 1984, following hits like Wake Me Up, Before You Go Go, and Careless Whisper. He recognized the catchy, uplifting melody's potential as a holiday classic. The lyrics explore heartbreak and betrayed love. The narrator gave his heart last Christmas, only for it to be given away the next day, vowing this year to give it to someone special. The upbeat synth-pop sound contrasts with the melancholy theme, highlighting holiday loneliness amid cheer. Though not based on a specific personal breakup, per Ridgeley, the emotional depth reflects Michael's songwriting talent. He juxtaposed sorrow with joy, for poignant effect. Ironically, it peaked at No. 2 in the UK, blocked by Band Aid's due. They Know It's Christmas, which Michael also sang on and donated Last Christmas's royalties to. It finally hit UK No. 1 in 2023, years after Michael's death on Christmas Day 2016. The song remains a perennial favorite, blending festive joy with bittersweet emotion. American writer and humorist Mark Twain once said, "The 2 most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why." From the following 3 legacies, we can see why George Michael lived his life. George Michael's enduring 3 primary legacies reflect his multifaceted impact as an artist, humanitarian, and trailblazer. 1. Musical genius and timeless hits. George Michael revolutionized pop music, first as half of Wham! And then as a solo superstar, selling over 125 million records worldwide. His songwriting, soulful voice, and production prowess produced iconic tracks like Careless Whisper, Faith, Freedom, 90, and Last Christmas, blending pop, soul, and R&B. He won 2 Grammys, 3 Brit Awards, multiple Ivor Novello Awards, including Songwriter of the Year 3 times, and was the most played artist on British radio from 1984 to 2004. His influence spans generations, with songs remaining streaming staples and inspiring countless artists. George Michael revolutionized pop music, first as half of Wham! And then as a solo superstar, selling over 125 million records worldwide. His songwriting, soulful voice, and production prowess produced iconic tracks like Careless Whisper, Faith, Freedom, 90, and Last Christmas, blending pop, soul, and R&B. He won 2 Grammys, 3 Brit Awards, multiple Ivor Novello Awards, including Songwriter of the Year 3 times, and was the most played artist on British radio from 1984 to 2004. His influence spans generations, with songs remaining streaming staples and inspiring countless artists. George Michael revolutionized pop music, first as half of Wham, and then as a solo superstar, selling over 125 million records worldwide. His songwriting, soulful voice, and production prowess produced iconic tracks like Careless Whisper, Faith, Freedom, 90, and Last Christmas, blending pop, soul, and R&B. He won 2 Grammys, 3 Brit Awards, multiple Ivor Novello Awards, including Songwriter of the Year 3 times, and was the most played artist on British radio from 1984 to 2004. His influence spans generations, with songs remaining streaming staples and inspiring countless artists.
2. Secret philanthropy and generosity. Despite his fame, Michael gave anonymously and prolifically, donating millions to causes like HIV/AIDS charities, e.g., Terrence Higgins Trust, Children's Aid, and Individual Strangers. Stories emerged after his death, funding IVF for a TV contestant, tipping a student nurse £1,000, giving £15,000 to £25,000 to those in debt, volunteering at homeless shelters, and waiving royalties, e.g., from Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. He supported Band-Aid, NHS workers with free concerts, and more, often insisting on secrecy to focus on the act itself.
3. LGBTQ+ advocacy and visibility. After being outed in 1998, Michael embraced his sexuality defiantly, turning potential scandal into empowerment with songs like Outside. He became a gay icon, campaigning for LGBTQ+ rights, fundraising for HIV/AIDS, and speaking openly about identity in an era of stigma. His courage provided representation and hope, paving the way for greater acceptance and influencing queer culture profoundly. These pillars, music, kindness, and authenticity, ensure his influence endures nearly a decade after his passing. Before we finish, here are top 10 great George Michael quotes. George Michael's words, drawn from interviews, lyrics, and reflections, reveal his wisdom on life, love, fame, authenticity, and music. Here are 10 of his most frequently cited and profound quotes, compiled from reliable sources like interviews and quote archives. You'll never find peace of mind until you listen to your heart. A timeless reminder to trust inner guidance over external noise. There's no comfort in the truth. Pain is all you'll find. From his raw honesty about heartbreak and reality, often linked to Careless Whisper. I still believe that music is one of the greatest gifts that God gave to man, reflecting his deep passion for music as a divine force. Be good to yourself, cause nobody else has the power to make you happy. An empowering call for self-love and independence. I have never thought about my sexuality being right or wrong. To me, it has always been a case of finding the right person. A bold statement on love beyond labels. The truth is my love life has been a lot more turbulent than I have let on. The truth is my love life has been a lot more turbulent than I have let on. The truth is my love life has been a lot more turbulent than I have let on. I'd rather be happy and less creative than miserable. I'd rather be happy and less creative than miserable. I'd rather be happy and less creative than miserable. I just hope that I'll stay around musically for as long as I can. I'd love to think that I will still be satisfying myself and other people as a musician until the day I die. Stars are almost always people that want to make up for their own weaknesses by being loved by the public, and I'm no exception to that. A self-aware take on fame and vulnerability. I'm surprised that I've survived my own dysfunction, really. Honest reflection on personal battles and resilience. These quotes capture George Michael's introspective, defiant, and heartfelt spirit, much like his music. There you go, guys. When you listen to Last Christmas every Christmas, remember the enduring love and treasure George Michael left behind for the world. All for the sake of leaving behind a better and more loving world. Thanks for watching Top Quotes by Top Guns, and I'm Quote Guy. Till next Christmas card.